Do you want your guitar only built by the hands of a guitar player? Stay tuned. We'll discuss. Hey, Jonathan.
How's it going?
It's me, Baxter. Hey, what's your name?
You already said, "Hey, Jonathan."
I know. I just wanted you to say something like
It's fine. I refuse.
say something weird and awkward and goofy. Oh, I'm so
done
wiggly
that.
right
we
now.
we got to weird, awkward, and goofy.
It's been a long morning already, everybody. It's been a long day, a long morning. It's like I don't even know what time it is. I feel like I've been in a casino. But anyway, so many people, like a real casino. Like we see on forums, we'll see like the things start like I don't want this. Like, do you want your guitar? Angry. It's just. Which I don't understand. That's a whole other thing. Stop being so angry.
No. I think you should be angrier.
Stop it. But do you want your guitar built just by a guitar builder? Or is it okay if it's not built by guitar builders? We have like some very polarizing ideas on this, and we've stuck our little toe in there every once in a while. I'm like, whoa, it's hot.
Somebody's running the CNC. They probably don't even play guitar.
Probably get $10 an hour. Well, no, they're probably getting $18 an hour now. It's expensive out there in the CNC world.
Yeah. Probably more than that, but
yeah, it's tricky because like I actually feel both a lot of times.
okay.
No, it's strange. Like, and I had sort of my thing. What you want to go first?
Sure. I mean, there's so much to unpack there.
I know.
This was a post we saw on one of our favorite Facebook groups earlier, but anyways, I mean, like, first off, the CNC thing doesn't really matter. It just doesn't. I mean, it's actually going to be better because if someone's cutting your stuff out by hand, it's going to be different. Everyone's
Don't talk to my favorite pin routers out there, though. Those guys are pretty monstrously good at those.
I mean, I'm sure. But anyway, so that's fine. That's whatever. I don't have a strong opinion. Now, I feel like I have flip-flopped over the years on whether or not it should be a guitar player building my guitar.
Okay.
I think there was a point in time where it made sense to me that, yes, if you were assembling / building a guitar, that you would be a guitar player. But now, I don't necessarily think that. In fact, it may even be just my experience. The people who I built or who I meet who are very talented craftsmen and builders are not necessarily talented guitar players. And
Okay, so let's
vice versa.
try to name one like famous guitar brand that the leader or founder is not a guitar player.
Oh, you mean like Fender?
Oh,
Like Leo Fender?
everyone's
Yeah.
at home, like I know Paul's. I'm like Leo. It's Leo.
It's Leo. Oh my God.
Having say sandwich like falling out of his mouth as he's like,
I mean, I was saving it because I feel like that's the mic, drop the mic, conversation over.
That's the Obama moment when
You
he did
know.
that little thing at the press thing. That was really funny. One of those great presidential moments. He dropped the mic.
Obviously, he's never bought a mic.
No, you jerk, mic abuser.
But
no,
anyways.
but no, it's yeah. So a lot of these great craftspeople, and Martin Guitars is another fantastic example. Most of the people that work at Martin, most of the people have never strummed a chord on a guitar.
Yeah.
And they are still some of the best craftspeople you'll probably ever meet in your life.
And I would dare say, after years of doing it, know what a guitar should look and feel like and how it should respond. I mean, you know. And I mean, it's different if we're talking about a lower end brand and you're on the assembly line and whatever.
Like Gibson.
Right. Like Gibson.
Just like, just grinding them out like
I
Gibson.
mean, when I was at Gibson, there was a ton of people there who did not play guitar.
You'd say most people probably,
I would
right?
say the majority, and maybe they like guitar or they kind of got into it because they worked at Gibson. But these aren't like, imagine trying to fill a factory with like pro guitar players or like
no
you know,
one show up on
competent guitar
time.
players. No,
Everyone's stoned. It's like lazy as all get out.
guitar players are trying to go play guitar. Like that was half the problem when I worked at Gibson. Is I was trying to like go be a guitar player, so I didn't want to just build guitars. I wanted to go play guitars.
Now the flip side is some of the best guitars that that I do like are most guys play guitar. Like I love
sure.
Echo Park. I love
Yeah.
Casadosas. But I'm not going to say they're the best guitar players.
Yeah,
I mean,
those
no
things,
offense, guys.
they don't
It's,
go hand in hand.
No, they're I'd say that's a secondary, tertiary thing almost.
But they love guitars.
They do love guitars. There's an obsession with it. So I'm gonna almost put like the obsession with the history and the craftsmanship and like the. Yeah, but they do play a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's almost like the best. I'll even jump into Wayne Henderson. Like that guy can play, obviously.
I think historically, right? And there's, I mean, like Andy Powers is a good like exception. He's a fantastic guitar player.
Nah, he's average.
He's just okay. But I mean, I think historically, when you think about like Les Paul and Leo Fender, those guys, you know, and that Paul Bigsby, that whole time frame where they're sorting out basically the template for every electric guitar that all of us play now in some form or another. It was these cool, like partnerships and like working together of a great builder who has this vision and an artist who's a great player. You know, like I mean,
I was like Leo Fender and Don Randall. I was like, what?
Oh my god!
I was thinking always like in the Eagles. No, but no, it was those partnerships.
I mean, you think about Leo Fender, like you know, I think about the first thing that pops in my brain is him talking to like Dick Dale. Hey, I gotta have a more powerful amp. Gotta be cleaner.
Great builders know who to talk to.
Right.
And then the great players know what they want. They just don't know how to do it. Or again, they're guitar players and they're just in their own little universe.
You think about, I mean, these are all amp examples. I don't know why I can't, but Hendrix and Marshall, you know, where he goes and talks to him. Clapton goes and says, "Hey, I need a Marshall that fits in my boot." Yeah.
Oh, we got one.
That's a trunk for you Yanks. But anyways,
no, it's just just describing and getting that tone right, because an artist knows what the tone is they're looking for. Like there are like classic great tones. I was talking about this with a friend of mine the other day. We were sort of specking out a Jazzmaster. We were talking about the old Beatles acoustics and how they were using just the crappy ones, a lot of the old bad like laminate top Gibsons, but it's got that sound when you listen to those old recordings. And now we try to emulate that with, $10,000 boutique guitars too. Sometimes when you can just go buy an old one, probably at a pawn shop.
That's a really good point.
Somebody's like, I want the Beatles sounds. Like,
Like we try to get so high end to emulate a certain thing, and we end up cutting it down to.
I know we were laughing about it because I was like, I just use my Hummingbird. I have a '65 Hummingbird that I love, and he's like, that's probably sounds a little bit too good. I'm like, yeah, for the Beatles, that's my Beatles guitar.
Right.
I'm like just strumming along. And I mean,
if you don't have knobs coming through the top.
No, and let's jump back to CNC. Like that is a part of all guitar making nowadays, even from your boutique guys all the way up to your master production guys from Fender and Gibson and PRS. CNC is here to stay. It's not going anywhere. It doesn't take out the handwork that is still needed. I've seen a lot of non-CNC bodies that are put together that look like trash, too. Like I've seen some that are fantastic. Some of these jazz top, like arch top pieces. I mean, amazing. All hand, no CNC. But for a solid body guitar, CNC gets you started right usually.
That's just what a blues lawyer would say, Baxter.
God darn you. It's true, isn't it?
No. They do all the handwork after that. But I mean, that is true.
I do fully live in my blues lawyer universe. I accept it.
That was a comment on our little thread in the shitpost page. Was we found the lawyer or the doctor? So crap. I don't know.
What should I take with this, Doc?
I mean, but there's.
But that's the thing. I still remember at PRS because there's a lot of CNC there, but I was watching those poor souls just standing up, arched over, like it was like the orcs and the goblins in like the Mines of Mortar, just like sort of standing across like the body. Just get that little beautiful arch, that little carved top that you see on those PRS. It's like, oh, it's just so nice.
It's not natural.
I know it's not. I don't think you understand. Like it's like people like with a sander. Like I was like, God, how long do they do that? Like 3 hours on each top. And they break, and then they do 3 hours again. I'm like, what, 6 hours per top? I'm like, what?
That reminds me when I was a kid, my dad would be painting cars on the side, and they'd give me a piece of sandpaper and this old hose, and I would just stand there and wet sand like the door panels on these cars.
I can't wait. I can't wait to watch the Karate Kid with my kids.
Yeah,
like when they're like, paint the fence.
But a good example of what you were just talking about. Taylor guitars. Oh, they're innovative. They use UV and all these machines. Yeah, but when you go to their factory, you'll still be overwhelmed by how much crap is done by hand.
The worst part by hand that I watched was the guy putting in the armrest.
Yeah.
So that's like sort of that's at a later stage in the guitar production. He gets this giant, looks like a horse nail file. He's like, it was like, I was like, who does this?
They screw it up. There's only a handful that can do it, right?
It was like 2 at that point.
Yeah.
They maybe have more, but I saw one guy was getting trained on it. I was like,
I was
good
thinking
luck,
it was
kid.
like 2 or 4. Yeah, I mean, God,
Like, don't train
there's
on
no
the
other way to
900.
really train than just do it. I mean, like even Gibson, you think, oh, they have sort of an assembly line. I mean, that's true, but when the guitar comes to you, it's you're doing it all by hand, not to,
Well, one of my
think it's
friends
as much,
at
but-
Martin too, like, he says I can say his name. I'm not going to. I like to keep him anonymous in case like I say something stupid and get him in trouble. But he could have.
We could do it.
I know. He's wonderful. He's going to be a head of the company one day. I know.
We say dumb things.
The head of production. That's my dream for him and his family. Not his kids. I don't want them to be there. They're going to go off and be astrophysicists. Anyway, the amount of time, like when it builds like the authentic aged pieces, or just like the bracing in those and the custom shop pieces, there's so much more time. Like quadruples the time sometimes to build the same guitar. Like you're thinking we're building a D28, but you're not. You're building the D28. That's it's like an AMG Mercedes. Like Klaus is building that engine by hand.
I mean, you're
He
sort
signs
of.
it.
The long and short is you're paying for time. You're paying for time on the front end that guitar takes to be built and to make sure that it's right, the craftsmanship. You're paying for the time that you enjoy it and play it, all those hours of enjoyment, and then the time that hopefully that guitar lives on forever for your kids. Because some of these guitars are heirloom pieces.
No, because you're saying that because we're getting a new puppy soon. I was doing the math on it. I was like, okay, a dog costs X amount of money, let's say, or if you get it from like our last was a rescue too. I'm just saying, let's say you buy a dog. And I was like, you get dog for 10 to 14 years. How much do you, if I spread that out over years, the dog costs X amount per year. Is it worth it? Yeah, I guess that's not that much. Or like the vet bills too. I was like, if you start, I don't like to think of life that way. But when you are buying a guitar, you are paying for the labor is a huge part of it.
It's huge.
That's why USA guitars and like UK and stuff like it does cost more. Labor costs more. The quality of wood they get, don't fool yourselves, it's a lot better. They're not shipping. They're not shipping
And
the
it's
same woods to the Mexican production factory.
Substantially more expensive, right? Like is my understanding.
It's and like Brazilian stuff's off the chain right now. It's kind of ridiculous. Like getting a new Brazilian guitar, from Martin or
It's
Taylor.
like filling up your gas tank.
It's like, oh well,
it's almost that expensive.
Dude, I have not had this experience in a long time. Like I was out of gas. It was my anniversary last night. I was taking my wife out to dinner. I was like, I don't want to run out of gas on my anniversary. I was like, can I pull over and get gas? I felt like it was on my first date. And then I start filling up. I'm like, God, and I had to get premium in this car that I'm driving. It's my old 2006. And I was like, $4.50. I was like, I'm doing 6 gallons, and they were just going to drive. I can't. It was a lot of money. I still dropped a lot of money just there to get gas. I was irritated.
Yeah, sometimes I have to just set a cutoff, like monetary value in my brain. I'm like, I just can't.
I felt so rich for the past few years, and all of a sudden I was like, I know.
Just fill up all the time. No.
Yeah, just fill up. You don't even think about, it's what it is, and then it was one of those moments, like wanting to go to the movies or something. It's just so expensive. Unless I only go Tight White Tuesdays.
The sad thing is, like, you're like, I'm just gonna put $20 in. It's like 4 gallons.
I know. That's what was so mad. It's like
I mean, it's more than that, but not much more.
I was like, $30 in or whatever, almost with the tax, and I was like, oh, good, that's cool. And I'm like, not even halfway filled up. I was like, yeah, just sorry,
Baxter, Jonathan, why don't you have electric vehicles?
I think Tesla just dropped their prices again. I mean, I would like. I'm all on board with the self-driving car. Like that's just. I know some people are like, I'm scared. I'm like, it's better than most
I'm
guitar
not
players.
scared. I just think.
I don't know. It just frees up so much more time for me to like look at TikTok. That's all. So hey,
I just love how we're putting all the infrastructure in for AI to seamlessly take us over.
to waste. I mean, it is Wall-E is around the corner.
Like we're not making it hard at all. We're like, oh yeah, oh cool.
Once
you drive, I'll scroll.
I mean, it's almost there. We're gonna be so. We're gonna be so bad. But hey, don't worry if your guy can't play guitar really well. That builds your guitar. They usually know what they're doing. I'm still waiting to get on that Languedoc list.
Wouldn't it be funny if like you were auditioning boutique builders and you like go to their factory and you're like, okay, now play Crazy Train. How's your Crazy Train? Can you play a solo to Hotel California? Okay. All right. That'd be really funny.
Gabriel Curie, I want to see him play Crazy Train next time I see him.
We should have a boutique builder playoff. Not a guitar off, a playoff.
I'll bring the Fender guys too. I want to see Paul Languedoc though. I want to see Gabriel Curie. I want to see Carlos Lopez. I want to see Vincent Van Treat on bass.
Who's the best? Who's the best of the builders? Who's the best player builder wise?
I'm not saying. I think I know. I'm not saying there's some good players
I
there.
have some ideas.
Some of those Fender Custom Shop guys can actually play pretty well too.
Yes.
I mean, Andy Powers shreds, obviously.
Andy Powers is very good.
Like
he's top of my list, probably.
He's like dunks on it. He's like the Michael Jordan of that crew. Mainly because he dresses like, hip.
That's what I'm saying. It's almost irritating.
How
He shouldn't be.
And he serves.
He shouldn't like build incredibly successful guitars, look cool, and play well.
We're starting like down with Andy Powers.
Andy Powers hate group.
Yeah, hate group on Taylor Guitar. And
Andy Powers shit post
on Facebook soon. So we're so sick of him dressing looks so nice.
He's just too good.
Building cool guitars, like having a nice family that loves them, is still married, and like can play guitar really well.
Blah blah blah.
Yuck.
And
his office is pristine and beautiful. Man, mine's like filled with like files and guitars all the time. Every time I clean it, just another guitar just lands on my desk. Blah.
It just occurred to me. I feel like Andy and Brian Wampler look alike the same. Like Brian Wampler is like casual Andy.
Andy Powers looks a lot like a friend of mine named BJ, who's a city planner.
What if they're all the same?
I mean, because they're both like tall and like have like short hair, and they wear the little fancy hats. We gotta go. That's enough talking. Thanks for joining us. Click like, subscribe.
Yeah, hit the bell.
I'm out. Peace be with you.
Goodbye.
Bye bye.